Five persons die in a motor vehicle crash in Westmoreland. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Two children and their respective mothers were among five persons who died as a result of a motor vehicle crash involving a taxi in which they were traveling and a truck on the Bluefields Main Road in Westmoreland yesterday afternoon. The identities of the deceased persons, four females and a male, are not immediately known. Reports are that the crash involving a Toyota taxi which ran off a section of the roadway into a tree after colliding with a truck. Three persons reported died at the scene of the crash, with two being rushed to hospital. However, they both later succumbed to their injuries. The driver of the taxi who survived the crash reportedly fled the scene and is now being sought by the police, who have indicated that they already know his identity. The crash resulted in a pileup of traffic on the roadway. Meanwhile, two men were detained following the seizure of an illegal firearm on the Chapelton Main Road in Clarendon Sunday afternoon. The arrest and seizure followed a special operations carried out by detectives from the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Branch CTOC, and it was reported at about 1:20 p.m. the detectives went to the Chapelton Main Road where they signaled a white Toyota Probox to stop. The driver complied and the vehicle was searched. During the search, police said a black Keltec 9mm pistol, two magazines, and three 9mm rounds were found inside. The firearm, ammunition, and the vehicle were seized. Both suspects, one of whom is a taxi driver and the other a farmer, were detained and escorted to the Maypen police station for further processing. Government Senator Dr. Sophia Longmore says priority must be given to resuming the death penalty in Jamaica to stop the killing of children. Speaking yesterday on the morning agenda on Power 106, Dr. Longmore said the murder of children is a public health crisis and legislators must treat the issue as an emergency like the COVID-19 pandemic. Last Monday, two 9-year-old boys and a man were killed in Salt Spring in St. James when a taxi in which they were traveling was shot up by gunmen. The incident has since reignited discussions on the death penalty. At a press conference last week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said his view on the penalty for murder has evolved given the barbarity of the acts of criminals. Meanwhile, the police are theorizing that an ongoing family dispute is behind Saturday night's double murder at a bar in Gregory Park in St. Catherine in a gun attack that also left a third man hospitalized. The deceased men are 46-year-old Cedric Crooks, otherwise called Gungu, a farmer, and 47-year-old Michael Manley, otherwise called Bada Bada, a groundsman. They were both of Gregory Park addresses. The injured individual is said to be an elderly man. Reports from the police are that the three men were patrons at a bar drinking a juice located on Main Street when they were pounced upon by a gunman who opened fire hitting them. The gunman then escaped in the area. The police were alerted and the men were taken to hospital where Crooks and Manley were pronounced dead and the third man was admitted in serious but stable condition. And this is the second attempt to kill Crooks, who was injured in a shooting incident in 2017. This time he was not that lucky. A woman was shot dead while her sister narrowly escaped injuries during a robbery in Comfort District, Clarendon on Sunday morning. The dead woman has been identified as 43-year-old Marie Smith Martin, otherwise called Browning, a vendor from Sandy Bay in the parish. And it was reported that about 10:15 in the morning, the two women were traveling through the Comfort community selling goods from a gray Nissan van when they were approached by a man who requested to purchase a pair of slippers. While assisting the man, another man armed with a gun pounced upon the women and ordered them to hand over their money and valuables. The sisters cooperated and reportedly gave the man their cell phone and an undetermined sum of cash. Following the robbing them, the man ordered the victims into the bushes, which they refused. The now deceased, in a bid to defend herself, attempted to reach for a machete in the motor vehicle and was shot and killed by her attacker. The other sister ran into nearby bushes and escaped without injuries. The vehicle was then driven away by the culprits but collided some distance away and was abandoned. It was later seized by the police. Onto Sports Premier League. Last season's beaten finalists Cavalier had to settle for a 1-1 draw with Waterhouse in the Ray and Neville Premier League at Sabina Park yesterday. Cavalier took the lead in the 32nd minute through Christopher Ainsworth. However, the Jerusalem-based club leveled proceedings in the 39th minute thanks to Denardo Thomas. Cavalier now have 4 points with 3 matches, while Waterhouse moves to 7 points. And in the other game of the night, Harbourview remains winless, while Humber Lions remains unbeaten as the sides played to a 2-2 draw Monday afternoon. Shaquille Bradford returned from Reggae Boys duty, opened the scoring for Harbourview in the 23rd minute. However, the lead was short-lived as Jordan Williams replied 4 minutes later. Andrew Vanzi in the 35th minute strike gave Humber Lions a halftime lead, but Harborview found the equalizer 6 minutes into the second half through Andre Fagan. The draw sees the Humber Lions move to 5 points, while Harborview have 2 points. Onto schoolboy football in the Dakar Cup, where 8 teams are left standing in the quarterfinals. In Group 1, which consists of holders Clarendon College, Glenmore High, Manchester High, and Christiana High, defending champions Clarendon College and former winners Glenmore, who already booked the first 2 spots in the semi-final, will clash today to determine the winner of the group. Clarendon is coming off a 4-0 thrashing of Manchester High, while Glenmore edged Christiana High 1-0, and both have 2 wins from 2 games. While Christiana High will play Manchester High, both have lost the 2 games that they play. In Group 2, which have BB Coke, Dintil Tech, Cornwall College, and Garvey Maceo, Dintil Tech is leading in Group B with a stunning 3-0 beating of previously unbeaten Garvey Maceo, and they now improved to 6 points, while BB Cook, who ended Cornwall College ambitions with a hard-fought 2-1 win at Jarrett Park, Dintil have 6 points, while BB Cook and Garvey Maceo both have 3 points. Today the final games will play in the final 8, and we will know the other 2 places to join Clarendon College and Glenmore. Garvey will play Cornwall in the first game, while Dintil will face BB Coke. The quarterfinals of the Manning Cup is now over, and there'll be no more games until November 22, when Mona will face St. George's and KC will face Heidel. The Walker Cup will now take over and will begin tomorrow. And that's going to be news and sports on your favorite community radio. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.